I got a call yesterday, or an email should I say. Someone thought my boat had come off the mooring and was sitting on the bank right over towards where the club is. It was a real nerve-wracking couple of hours whilst one of the guys here that lives in Bala was going to go and check and get back to me. So I sort of prepared myself to drive down to go and rescue Lulu. But as you can see, she's there. And it wasn't my boat. So we'll go and have a little look. I know which boat it was, or it is. You can see there's a buoy vacated straight out there. And it's like a green luggerish. It's like a real old-fashioned boat, a bit like the lugger. I've never seen her sailing actually, and it's that boat, so I've just seen it as I've driven in. So we'll go and actually have a little motor down there and have a look. It's been a real tumultuous week. A lot of sun, a lot of rain, a lot of wind. You can see the water line has come right up here during the week, and we've receded a little bit. But it's still quite deep for Bala. This is probably above average water for Lake Bala. Normally it settles around that area there. So let's go get the boat and let's get her ready to sail. You probably see I'm quite wet. I had to dive in quite early because to get the boat moored up here, it's actually obviously the water's a lot deeper than normal, and also the boat was being pushed into this lee shore quite quickly, so I thought it best just to jump out with the anchor. You can see the anchor's settled there, get that in, and then just to keep the rear nice and close, we've got this line here. I've just tied it to my trolley. That's all it needs. All that's doing is stopping the boat from tilting, twisting on its anchor. And wow, there's been some weather. You can tell there's been some weather because look at this, that water in my bucket, and look at my bilges full. So I'm going to get the boat, I'm going to get all the sails on, and we're going to get the water out everywhere, and then we're just going to get on and go for a sail today. The sun, is out, the wind is crazy. Oh, one other thing I'll mention is paddling out, even in the mirror with one paddle. That was like my morning workout. I've not been cycling the last week and a half because I got a bad back, so I think I could feel my normal fitness just wasn't quite there, and that was hard work. Literally I was within touching distance of the boat almost, and it still took me 2 minutes to kind of just do that last final meter where I could grab hold of the boat and pull myself along the boat. And you can see how Mocking D is bobbing about quite merrily there. Yeah, when you get out there, sometimes there's some waves. So glad I fitted that bilge pump last week, that's all I can say. Anyway, let's get the boat set up. Bilge pump time. The pump's disconnected at all. Oh, and it has. There we go. Hang on. Oh, there you go. Straight away. So that's no more than about 60 seconds pumping, maybe a little longer, sorry, 2 minutes maybe. And look, I'm just stood right at the front. That's pretty much as good as you'll get it without using a sponge to get it, bone dry. Ooh. So yeah, I was so chuffed with my new bilge pump. Just need to make sure that pipe securely fits it. I think what I did was, because it's exposed, I knocked it and I pulled it off. So just have to be careful of that, because I don't want it to come off when we need it most. You can just see how good this T-coil is. Look, if I dip them, look at that, amazing stuff. And it's just, I'm so pleased with the finish of these. Just look at that. Oh my god, it just looks like a new boat. It's really showing up these now. I'm going to have to give these a good And you know, Tico only gave it the rest of the boat one coat. What I've realised now is that she probably needs 2 or 3 to get her looking spick and span, so we'll find a time to do that. Flag is flying. I've lashed it, so I've literally just lashed it so it pulls the flag in, so it's very hard for that to fall out now. I've just used loads of string and lashed it like a cleat because it can get under there, and then I've just hopped 2 rounds at 1/2 inches onto the stick. We'll see if that works. If not, I'll have to make a new stick and buy a new flag, but I think it'll be fine. You can see the wind is picking up even now actually, so I think we should get on. Sails are all up, ready to go. Look at those floorboards. I know I keep going on about them, but I'm quite proud of them. I'm so glad I did it. Look how, I remember when I did the centerboard case top, how pleased with that I was. Look at it now. I mean, this boat's going to look beautiful once we've actually really gone to town on her. So let's put the motor on, and what we'll do, we'll motor and go and see that other boat first, and then we're going to reach all the way down the lake. Off we go. You can see where the wind, the flag's actually a really good indicator of the wind. So I'm a little shroud indicators, telltale should have called them. So just going to motor quite close here, come out through this north exit of where the moorings are. We'll just check Mokindee's looking happy enough. I've not got the rudder in just yet. I'm about to do that. I'm just going to get us some sea room out here. There we go. We'll just because this is a lee shore here today. There we go. We're just going to mosey on right in the middle here. I know we can put an anchor down when we get past X, that marker there. It starts to get quite shallow, so I know we can put an anchor down then if we need to. So let's go get the rudder in, and then I'm going to go. You may just see the boat over there. I don't know if you can see her there. She's in line with that marker now, and you may just see her. She's embedded right into the grass. So second thoughts, I think I'm going to keep the rudder out because it can get quite shallow down there. So I'm going to go in as close as I can. We'll benefit from having, you know, good, there's a lot of water in the lake today. And we'll just go and take a look, check the boat's okay, and then we'll get the sails up, go for a big long sail. I don't want to get too close. Look how shallow it is. You may just be able to see the bottom there, so you've just got to be careful. In fact, there's the boat over there. We're not going to get any closer, so I'm actually just going to bring us out because we're quite risking running aground there with the propeller. I've got the anti-collision on, but that doesn't really help if you hit the ground and you can't use the motor. I don't want us to run aground because this is quite a strong lee shore here as well. But you can see there's a boat there. She looks safe enough. Safe enough. Right, let's get some sea room, and then we're going to get the sails up. And we are sailing. Here we go. We're just gaining some speed now. You can see we're pointing almost straight down the lake, which is quite exciting. And there's the telltales are telling us the wind. I know it's coming more from over this direction, not that direction, which I originally thought it, well, the weather tells me it's coming from. We're just going to point the boat a little bit further down. Sails look happy with that. I haven't really trimmed the sails just yet. There you go. We should, in theory, be able to go all the way down the lake on this. So this will be starboard tack. This wind's coming from starboard. And there's a little gust, and off we go. Bye bye Mokindee. Bye bye Mabel. See you later. I mean, there's no wind. We've not really moved in about 10 minutes, if you can see. There's that lovely corribee there. We've hardly got enough forward motion to steer, which is, you know, don't really want to be drifting too much. Well, you can see some wind coming in very gradually over there, I think, and also the fact that the sun's gone in will mean there's probably a little bit of a draft coming. But at the moment, I'm trying to point the boat sort of southeast, southwest. At either tack, I'm getting, you know, the sails are blowing back. I can't seem to find where the wind's coming from at all. We're in the middle of the lake, literally, so almost. So we shouldn't really be having too much trouble with hills and whatnot. We'll just have to wait for the wind to pick up a little bit. Whilst we're not doing much, it might be worth just having a look at the compass. I'm quite pleased with that position. I'm sitting quite far back and I can easily see my bearing. It's in a really nice tucked away place, and yeah, that's really going to help. Actually, even on the lake it will help, because not only will it allow me just to, you know, get used to a compass and maybe head for a bearing, you know, things like that, practice my sort of charts and bearings, you know, of the boat, but it will also allow me to sort of fine-tune my beating and what sort of bearing I'm going to be beating or reaching on, you know, so I can always double check that. So that wind is now coming literally southeast, like standard southeasterly wind, and we're now tacking across the lake almost buoy to buoy, and now making some headway, as you can see. Yeah, really weird. Honestly, I don't think I will ever get used to the wind on Lake Bala. It's so challenging sometimes, especially when it's forecast from, you know, the north or the east. You know, the northerly winds generally are a bit crazy here. So that's why we've got telltales, I guess, these shroud ones, and we can hopefully work out where we're going with that. You may see the mizzen flapping away behind me. It's because I'm about to tack. I've just loosened the mizzen off so it doesn't stop us tacking, especially in this light wind. I put the mizzen away, and this new system I've got, well, I say system, it's just a clip on the end there, allows me to sort of tighten the mizzen up, or furl the mizzen away, should I say, and then just through tightening this, clipping that line back on and tightening it up, everything stays honest and true, so we don't lose the bumpkin or any lines don't get tangled up, which is a vast improvement on what I have been doing. I've been getting in a right old kerfuffle with this mizzen if I wanted to furl or unfurl it, and you know, sooner or later I was going to lose the bumpkin, which I don't really want to do. I got my gloves on today, just my normal fingerless sailing gloves. Gives me a bit of grip on the lines and also just saves my hands a little bit, although today so far I didn't really need them. I've gone for the Crocs. I've somewhat fallen in love with Crocs. I've wanted a pair for years, and then I've literally just gone and bought. I got a pair free, so I've got two pairs now. I got one for a pair for the little one, and we are, as my little girl now says, we're croc-a-doodle-doers. I've yet to get my partner invested into the same footwear, but we're working on it. You can get caught here at this little cove, just quite close to the adventure centre. This hill here, especially when the wind's sort of coming over that hill or this hill. And now look, you can actually feel, as soon as we get out of here, you can feel the wind always has a kick up. So we're going to try and point a little higher. Let's see. We've got the mizzen furled, of course, so we don't have to worry as much about pointing the boat. When you've got the mizzen up, because it almost counterbalances the jib and it pushes the boat leeward, it can stall the boat if you lose your forward motion. In effect, what it will do is it'll the mizzen and the jib, if you let the mainsail loose, it'll heave to the boat, which is great if you need to heave to, but not if you don't want to. This boat heaves to perfectly fine with the jib and the main. I've already done that. So yeah, I think sometimes, especially when you've got a very light wind and you're beating, it's probably best to put the mizzen away. It's just one less thing to worry about, and it can fight against you a lot of the time. We're heading for the red house. I think that's Marcus. Is that C? I was going to say marker D, but it could be C. We could be still that far up the lake. Yeah, it is marker C. This is about as, there you go, that the wind's almost coming straight up the lake. Oh, there's a nice gust. I've cleated the main in, or at least I'm just stood on it. I think in this sort of weather you're fine cleating the main. I've also just tied the little, I need another clip like that here actually, but it means you can just extend the steering a little bit rather than being at an angle. I can reach further forwards and do stuff like, I just need to move this, there we go, while steering the boat. I can also tie the boat off here if I want to, but I don't know whether this boat likes to self-steer. I think the wind's coming from the south east as normal. I'm going to try and point ahead of marker C there, see if we can just point up a little more. But this wind's now picking up. You can see the waves are starting to build. Ah, this is more fun. You know, it's all very well. It's a nice sunny day. It's warm, not too warm, but I was looking at the weather and thinking, ooh, some strong wind. It'd be nice to sail in this. That's what I want today. See the little blue line there as well. I forget what that's called, the clue of the sail. But if you tighten it up when you're beating and it gets this, you know, the luff of the sail, I think that's the luff of the sail, really taut. Oh, I'm just checking for Boise as I'm chatting. There she is. Yeah, we're going to clear her quite easily. See, we've got a bit of a shift on now. Hopefully we can make way. But yeah, tightening that up has made a real difference to the performance of this sail. I could lash the sail as well to the mast. You can see it's got lashing points, but at the moment I think I'm fine with that. The mirror's never had that. I don't have eyelets on my main mirror sail, so a lot of people I know on the channel have been telling me to lash it to the mast, which yeah, definitely I will try and do that with the, I think my reefed sail has got eyelets there, but you can see it does make a difference to the performance of the sail and the shape of it a little bit. Some canoers on the lake there. I've just given them a little wave, let them know I've seen them, because they can be a bit wary. I have to come on and off the wind in this boat a bit, so it looks like to them might look I'm a little bit out of control or not seeing them. So they're gonna cross in front of us actually. Canoes are amazingly quick when they need to be. We'll see if we can get close to them, sail out. I managed to get the outboard up. So now there's a lot of bulb and propeller you know, in the water there for this size boat, and I've immediately felt that we're moving a little bit quicker. I just tried to pull it back up and it just came up and clicked up again. So it might be something needs a bit of an oil somewhere, some sort of click or clip. We'll have to have a little look at that later. But I'm glad that's up, because now you can feel the boat's not got, it just felt like something was dragging behind the boat, which I guess in effect there was something there. We're passing the White House actually, if you look now, so we are making progress. the lake's looking, if you look at down the lake, it's looking a bit rougher, a little bit more scruffy. So that's a good sign, because it was getting to the point where the waves were starting to look a little bit like they were dying. I mean, these are tiny waves even for here, but yeah, we want big waves, we want water coming over the bow, and we want to test that bilge pump out, and we want to sail hard and fast today. That was the idea. I'm sure it's going to happen. Sailing along quite nicely now. When we get a decent wind, we can point quite far down the lake, but when the wind goes, we have to come off the wind a little bit to keep moving. And you can see we were hoping to go to the right, so to the starboard of marker F there, but we're going to be falling short now. That's it, go off to the side, guys. That's it. There we go. And you, mate, come on. Just follow your friends, there we go. Right, they've shot off over there now. One of the many hazards of lake sailing. Birds. There are many hazards on the lake. Birds and wildlife for one, but they tend to sort themselves out. I think the worst ones are swimmers. You do have to keep your eye out. I know a lot, you know, it's the same on the road, isn't it? I'm a cyclist. I take my little girl, I've always taken her on the bike. So, you know, I understand what it feels like to be a bike on a busy road. And, you know, my attitude is, you know, swimmers are, you've got to be very careful. You can hardly see them, but you need to keep your eye out for them, because if a boat hits them, then, you know, that can be nasty. The next up is canoers and paddleboarders. Paddleboarders especially, easy to see. Canoes are generally, you know, red or yellow or orange, so you can see them, or green. And they are, the canoers can get out of the way of anything generally, and the kayakers as well. The paddleboarders not so easily, but again, you see them so quickly. I did get caught out once. A paddleboarder had fallen in and was just having a break, and was just sort of, it was a very hot day, and it was a girl, and she was just leaning on the paddleboard in the water, enjoying herself, and I didn't see her till quite late. Paddleboard was like grey or black, so I hardly saw it, but you know, no harm done. That was in the mirror. Next up are other little boats, so you do get like little inflatable dinghies, rowing boats, things like that on the lake that, you know, don't move so easily. Usually piloted by, you know, kids or people not quite knowing what they're doing, maybe compared to a sailor, you know. Next up are other boats. Whoop. So you do have to be careful, you know. Some catamarans are super fast, and you know, sailing boats are captained by a whole array of different types of people. You know, I'm a mature, I'm not really into, you know, yeah, I like speed, but I'm not going to worry if someone comes across me and I have to slow down. C'est la vie. But some people can get quite annoyed and think they have the right of way, and, you know, so those people you can spot a mile off. They're the ones that are hanging off the edge of the boat and not really respecting other people. So you just keep your distance, you know. Then you just go up the scale of the boats, really. But the bigger the boat, the more sedate they are here, the more I think people understand sailing, and the sailing rules, if you know what I mean, rules of the water. Yeah, I'm still waiting for a seaplane to land on here. I did see one last season, obviously not landing on here, but that would be amazing. But yeah, there's a quick rundown of all the types of things, hazards on the lake. Little gust now, look. We're heeling a little bit. Oh, that's better. It's the enchanted forest here, look. And you can just see they've put some moorings in here. A little adventure club down here. Largely caters for like young kids and things like that. They did have some boats moored up here. We could actually probably steal a mooring if we ever need it, just for an hour or so. Don't think anyone would ever mind. I've just put the dagger board, or the centre board, up about a third. Just, you know, if I can just get a little bit less friction in this light wind. I don't think it's really made any difference to the pointing of the boat. We need to now tack. We'll head out over there and we'll just aim. I don't think we're going to stop here. I think we're going to aim for the bottom of the lake. Not been, you know, we didn't go down there as much as we should have done last year, so I'm going to, yeah, get a good sail in and get to the bottom of that lake. We've been going about 2 hours and we're floundering, to be honest with you. Look, the Bala camping's still there. We're just floundering to and fro. I've actually tacked 2 or 3 times now. I've actually got the mizzen back out just to give us some extra sail area. So which means I've got to be a little bit more careful about where I point. Don't want to get stuck. But it has given us a little bit more oomph, I can feel. But I mean, you can just look at the waves. They're almost glassing over now, these waves. And I've been looking at these little boats over here. Looks to be like a little sailing school there. They're laser Picos. So, you know, those things will move. If someone sneezes, the sails will catch that. And they're not moving either. Look, if you look over there, they've almost come to a standstill as well. And just like that, I don't know if you can tell, the wind's just come from, it's literally coming from the northwest now. And we are gallivanting down the lake almost. You can see bearing 230. So we're going literally straight down the lake. The lake actually has it's really angled. It's not, if you're going down the lake, you think you're going south, but you're not. South is quite off to one side. Yeah, so I've just let the sails out because we're technically reaching. Weirdly, the wind just decided to do that. So we'll have to be careful because it might decide to go back. And there, I don't know if you can see, look, there's a lot of boats on the shore there. So, you know, a lot of people sail from this camping site. It's part of the attraction, obviously, is the lake, and the fact you can just put your boat into the lake. So there's a lot of boats here. There's another kind of, in fact, we'll get closer here in a minute, but there's another sort of almost like something going on there, like scouts or sea cadets maybe. So we'll have a closer look at that, because it looks like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it looks like a whole lot of stuff going on there. There's ribs in the back there. They've got a little orange rib boat here. Loads of sailboats. I think these guys are part of that party there. So yeah, maybe sea cadets or scouts or cubs or something like that. Spots of rain. Look at that big black cloud. There's the weather we did have. We were just enjoying that little blue streak there. That's the weather we had, that grey weather there where it was spotting before. And then where the weather's coming from, I don't know now, but it looks quite grey all around, especially above us. I think those clouds are a little bit less rainy, but these ones above us are definitely very, very rainy. On cue. Oh wow, they're low. He was very low. They're the little 3 laser Picos. I actually thought I got that wrong, because the one at the back has no jib, but the other 2 at the front have little jibs. I didn't know laser Picos could have a jib, but obviously they can. Learning to sail. Great little boat to learn to sail on, especially if you're young. You know, they're quite tippy, but they're easy to, you know, they're designed to tip over and get back onto. Plastic hulls, you know, self-draining. Great fun, especially if you're, yeah, like I say, a little bit younger. Quite quick boats as well, as if you can get to grips with them. We are making our merry way down the lake now, so I might turn and try and get into this bay here. I think the wind is coming from that way, so it'll be a windward shore, which will be nice and easy. And there's a nice little bay there that's protected, so we can get in quite close and just sit and we'll have some lunch. Fastest we've gone all day. I've furled all the sails. Takes me like 2 minutes to do that and secure them. And I've got the motor going, and we're just going to motor into this little bay here, which is the other campsite, which I've actually camped in this one. It's a brilliant campsite. Really nice facilities. Very popular. In fact, all the campsites on Lake Bala are super popular. If you want to camp during a weekend, I don't think you can now during the summer. I think it's all booked up. During the week, I think you might sneak on, but other than that, yeah, you might struggle. Got to be careful here. It gets quite shallow, but I don't want to go too close. There's loads of kids over there making loads of noise, so I might actually go over to the left here instead, see what's going on here. Got to be careful. I think I'm just going to knock the motor down a tickle. Go a little bit quick, because it does get shallow here.